This is what we're going to talk about today. And this is probably just me getting this off my own chest more than anything else, but I saw this headline in my Google News feed the other day, and it read something like 100,000 songs a day. And the only thought that I had in my head was, wow, I feel like I'm drinking from a fire hose instead of a water bottle. And I couldn't shake that thought. So anyway, I thought I'd talk about it here with you guys. And I guess the headline first off, is that good or bad? I had several feelings happening kind of all at once about that. As a musician, I felt extremely depressed because, I'm not a top-selling artist by any means, nor do I even make a blip or a single drop of water in the ocean of music business that's around the world today. So now I feel even worse that, if I found it difficult to make it in the music business when there was just 20,000 songs being uploaded a day a couple of years ago, that's what they claimed a couple of years ago. You could read up on that somewhere. How in the heck am I going to make it with 5 times that number? That just seems out of reach. Needless to say, I felt, what's the point? Why bother? Hold on to that thought. We're going to take that thought out of our head and we're going to put it on the shelf, and we're going to come back to that in a few minutes. Okay, so why do they care to share that number with us, especially musicians? I admit I had a hard time trying to figure this all out. I honestly still don't think it's anything more than the streaming giants just bragging that they have this much of a stranglehold on the music industry. I mean, what else could it be, right? We own your music, and you. There's nothing you can do about it. Maybe that's not the case, but anyway. As I kept thinking more about this reasoning, I kept feeling more and more dread and anger towards them for having, such a dominance on music. And then I started to remember that, investment companies and financial holding groups were buying up music catalogs like they were buying toilet paper before the pandemic of 2020. Again, I felt dread and anger that I have little to no chance of breaking through, because as far as I can tell, the music industry is controlled entirely by financial groups and streaming companies that don't care one bit about the independent artist. And although they say that they're providing a service for independents like ourselves, we never had those things 10 years ago. They may say those things, but really they're not there to help you. They're there to help themselves. And, they're there to compete with each other and with their own other subscriber bases, for other streaming platforms, on who's got the biggest library. They're not there to help independent artists, especially. And they don't care where they get the numbers from. They just care that they have bigger numbers to report. That's pretty much how it works out. So now that I filled everyone listening with fear and dread, or maybe I haven't, and that's good. Stick with me on this. Let's switch gears and think about the positives of 100,000 songs a day. And, I'll admit, it took me a little bit to figure out what the positives are. But you and me, as subscribers, most likely to streaming platforms, we have so much music afforded to us now. For average $15 a month, we have more music to listen to than we could ever possibly listen to in multiple lifetimes. Okay, so let that sink in. We will never listen to a large majority of the music that's available on streaming platforms. If there's 100,000 songs being uploaded a day, and each song is 3 minutes long, 3,000 minutes in a day. No, not even close. That's a good thing and a bad thing, I guess. The good thing is we have so much content that we can listen to. The bad thing is I feel this way whenever I'm looking for toothpaste in a drugstore or a shopping mall or whatever. You walk into the toothpaste aisle and there are, 40 different kinds of toothpaste. Anyway, back to what I was trying to talk about. The good thing about 100,000 songs a day. We have so much content to listen to, and we've never been able to do that before legally. This is, post Napster and LimeWire and everything else and torrents or whatever you want to do. But this has been a long time coming. We're completely reliant now on algorithms that the streaming companies have set up to suggest new music to us. And because of the sheer amount of songs available, it's the only way that we really can discover new music or stumble upon new bands that we never would have otherwise stumbled upon to, because they just can't afford to maybe tour in our area. I've easily had suggestions in my playlists, my suggested playlists from other bands that I never would have heard of probably in my lifetime. Or certainly not as soon as I did anyway. And they're definitely some of my favorite bands even to this day. And I've been using Spotify, for example, and Apple Music, mind you. I use them both. I've been using those for years, since they were launched in Canada, at least anyway. Pretty much as soon as they launched here, I started using them. So is this good? Is the algorithm good for indie artists like myself and all of my musical friends and colleagues? It could be, I guess, but now we run into a new problem. How do we get the algorithm to suggest us to other listeners? That's the trick right there. Okay, so this video is not about how to do that, because I'll be quite honest with you, I don't know the ins and outs of the music industry to get to break through to streaming platforms and have them discover you and have you suggested on things like. I get the idea. You want to make it on like a curated playlist from Apple or Spotify, because the curated playlists have hundreds of thousands of listeners a month. I get all that. I understand that. It's how to get on that to begin with. Or if you're if you're a gent band, how do you get on the gent playlist on Apple Music? I don't know. There's a lot more happening under the hood there than I think we realize. But again, this video is not about that, because I'm not the one to suggest that to you. There's other people on YouTube that you can look up that tell you how to kind of break into those playlists and get those curators to put you on their list. So this is not about that. So this video is more about just kind of being real with ourselves about why we're doing music. Because when you think about the 100,000 songs a day thing, it really is drinking water from a fire hose. And I don't know about you, but I prefer to drink it out of a water bottle. And I will do that right now. So where do we go from here as artists? Well, this is a tough question. And I really don't have the answers here other than a couple of feelings and thoughts on the matter. Please also share your thoughts in the comment box below. This is a discussion that needs to be had by both artists like ourselves, probably a lot of you watching this right now, and listeners. And let's be honest, all of us artists are listeners, really. We love music to the point where we like to endorse other artists or help other artists, listen to other artists. We buy their songs. We love them. We love when they put new music out. We also are listeners. So let's not forget that. How do we make the algorithm a little bit better to help keep the listeners entertained with new music in the middle of a giant ocean of music? Help direct them to the island that they would prefer to be on, the music that they would like to listen to. And at the same time, how do we get the artists on that island to begin with? There needs to be, it just feels like they're so separate right now. And we need them to come closer together. I don't know how streaming platforms could do that. That would be fantastic if they did. But like I said, been using it for a while. I've had some bands suggested to me, but I feel like the ones that have been suggested to me are already artists that have a large following. So if you're an artist that is just starting out, you're just releasing music, and you've got maybe 100 people that come to your show locally in your town or city that you play in, and that's where you're at right now. How do you bust into that larger market where you start getting on playlists worldwide? That seems to me like a giant leap. Maybe it's not. I don't know. If anyone from Spotify or Apple Music is watching this, please comment below and let us all know what the actual algorithm is on how that can happen, because it seems like a giant mystery. So I guess we need to understand where we go from there. How do we support the artists that are trying to take that large next leap into getting on playlists and getting discovered? It's hard to argue with history, man. You got to tour. You got to do some tours. You got to put yourself in front of people that would not normally put themselves in front of you, and you need to do a fantastic job of it. You need to practice. You need to get really good at what you're trying to do. And when you're really good about it and you're having a good time with it, that's infectious. People grab onto that and they want to believe with you. For us listeners, for us music lovers, how do we help artists do that? Go to the show. Go to the local show. Buy a t-shirt. Buy a disc if they have it. Yes, I know you're probably going to stream it on Apple or Spotify or whatever streaming service you subscribe to. I get it. You're probably going to do that anyway, but we need to take it a step further as listeners and music lovers and support those artists that aren't Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran and Drake and The Weeknd and Metallica and Tool and sorry, keep supporting Tool. They're on the right track. Keep doing that. But anyway, I'm not saying not support them. I'm saying they don't need the extra help to break those barriers. Up and coming artists do need that help. So we need to help them in any way we can. And, keep streaming for sure. Buy their disc though. For $5 or $10 to buy their disc at a show, there's a lot of thought and detail that go into the cover art and the credits on the inside of the sleeve and all of those things, the manufacturing of the product, and you get to keep it and hold it in your hand. And I think we lost that somewhere. Well, I know where we lost it. We lost it to the internet. But anyway, that is a whole other discussion. Get rid of that. Let's not go there. But we need to do more as listeners. We need to support the artists, the local artists. We need to purchase things at their show. We got to do better with that stuff. And we need to do the streaming like we just do, because that when the artist builds up the monthly listener count, then it shows that they have a larger following. And unfortunately, right now, that's really the only metric that bands have online, aside from Instagram followers and Facebook pages and posts and things like that. But monthly listeners is really the metric. So we got to support them that way. Okay, enough about that. What can we do about this whole situation? Honestly, I don't know. It's different for all of us. But I think, if I'm being honest with myself, I need to ask myself a few questions, and I'm going to say these out loud so you can ask yourselves these questions too, if you are an artist and thinking about these things, or I've gotten you thinking about these things. So for me, what's my goal for releasing music? What's my personal goal? Is it to become the next big thing? For me, it's not. Maybe for you it is, and that's fine. Is it to serve as an outlet to share with other people? Yeah. Is it like personal therapy? Yes. I don't know if you got it or not, but that's probably what this video is for too. Is it simply just to do what I feel I need to do? regardless of what the outcome is. For me, that's part of it too. There's just something that I feel I need to do this. Is it what I was born for? I don't know about all that. Okay, so are there other ways to be involved in music? Yes, there are plenty. And maybe you've thought of these and maybe you haven't. I'm just going to ring them out. Do I only make my own music? Who do I want to listen to it? Can I help other people make music? By teaching lessons, by being involved in maybe schools that are already existing. Do I have a skill that I could teach to other people? Could I be a teacher? Can I give private lessons? Can I be a part of a school that gives lessons? Any of those things. Can I sell my music online? If you're a beat maker, there's places online that sell your beats. You just put a licensing fee on there, and people can listen to your music and buy a streaming license for your beat, or buy the music outright, contact you and just purchase it. Fiverr is obviously probably one of the most well-known ones that sells all kinds of stuff like that. But there's other ones like tracktrain.com, Tracklib, all kinds of stuff. There's lots of ways. What about other ways? Do you make sample packs? Jingles? Do you have a song that's, a riff that you recorded with a little drum beat that's, 25 seconds long? Could you stretch that to 5 more seconds and have a 30-second jingle and put it on Fiverr? Maybe some TV company wants to buy it from you for a commercial. Who knows? Media, TV, broadcast, all those places, they need music. Listen to almost every single commercial on TV has background music or music as at the forefront to generate an emotion for their product. Can you do that? Those are all sustainable ways to be a part of the music industry. Can you live off of it? I don't know. That's totally up to you. Would I be happy with doing this part-time or casual if it's not sustainable? Again, those are personal questions that you have to ask yourself. And that, inadvertently, I'm asking myself these questions in front of you right now. Okay, so remember that thing we put on the shelf over there? Let's pick it up and put it right back in front of us. What's the point? Why bother? So as we come back to the question, I felt, I guess, a lot better about it. And I feel better about it now. So I'm putting it before you. I feel like if I'm honest with myself, I'm making music for me, not for the algorithm. If I release a song that breaks a barrier for me and I get more listeners from it, then that's awesome. And, I'm not going to not be happy about that. That's fantastic. Who wouldn't be happy about that? But I'm not relying on that, I guess, is the theme here. Why do I feel better about 100,000 songs a day? I think it's because I just don't care. I don't care that there's that many songs being uploaded, because I'm not making a dent in it, and it's not making a dent in me, I guess. I don't know. Apple, Spotify, I don't care how many songs you accept a day. That is completely irrelevant to the people that are listening to the songs. We don't care about that. We want the algorithm to suggest our music to us better. If you're uploading 15,000 tracks that are in a genre that I never want to listen to, I don't care to listen to, why do I care about that as being part of the 100,000 a day? It's completely irrelevant. And we have to remember, the music industry is controlled to bring in money and numbers, not to support artists like me or maybe like you. That's not what's happening right now. So I get that, and I'm embracing it. Music for me has been something that I don't want to take for granted, even though it's been taken for granted in the world and devalued. It's something that should be given away for free. People have felt like that since Napster since Napster got huge. And, Lars Ulrich tried to warn us about that, and we're all probably kicking ourselves a little bit now and should have listened to him. But so I guess if you haven't figured this out, this is a therapy letter to myself. I guess I'm left with a goal, and I hope this helps you in some way as well. You know, after all this is said and done, what are we doing this for? You know, comment below those questions that I was asking myself. Ask yourself those questions. Is this in it? Are you in this for you? Are you in this to be the next Taylor Swift? You know, whatever the goal is, that's okay. It's your goal. It's your personal goal. Don't let anyone kill your goal. And that's not what this video is about, for sure. It's definitely not about killing someone's intentions, their aspirations, you know, anything like that. That's not what this is for. This was just, I guess, more of, like I said, a therapy thing for myself to kind of just bring me back to my goals and just reset my thinking on things and realize once again what it is that I'm trying to do and why I'm doing it. And if this helps you, great. So don't stop, you know, just do it for yourself. Don't stop making music. Don't stop for the industry that doesn't give a hoot about your music or anything like that. Don't give in to that stuff. If you feel that you need to make music for whatever reason it is, do it for you. Do it because you love to hate it. And above all, keep making music. Thanks for listening.